Hi guys, this is April Posey coming to you this evening with April Showers. And I want to share a topic tonight. And my topic tonight is love, respect, and toleration. And I kind of want to touch on all three and kind of like just compare and contrast the difference and get a deeper understanding for all on what are you living with? What are you doing with your life? What am I doing? So I am so happy to see you guys. It feels like it's been about 2.5 weeks. And so I want you to know that I haven't forgotten about you, just trying to gather material, gather speakers. Let me know if anyone's interested in a topic and interested in doing a cast with me. I would love it. I'm welcome. Um, New faces and new voices. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. Love, respect, and toleration. So, what is love? What is love? So, what I did is I went and got the Webster's definition of love. And I also want us to look at the definition of love. And then I want us to go into what love should be. And so that's going to be different because, of course, we all have our different interpretations of what we think love is. So, Webster states that love is defined as an intense feeling, an intense feeling of deep attraction and affection with great interest and pleasure in someone. That's what Webster says love is, a feeling. And respect is defined as a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something. That is what respect is defined as. So love says it's a feeling of deep affection, great interest and pleasure, and respect is a feeling of deep admiration. Toleration is defined as to put up with or to suffer. To put up with or to suffer. So, why did I choose these three? Love, respect, and toleration. One, today, we as people are dealing with a lot of love, respect issues, and toleration in relationships. And that's relationships across the board. That's not only relationships between a man and a woman, but that's relationships between parents and children, workplace relationships, student-teacher relationships. So this topic is very important when it pretty much across the board, which is why I wanted to go into it. So when we look at these words, what do they all have in common? If you notice, two of those first two definitions that I named, they had something major in common. I said one word that defined both of them, and it was feelings. Feelings. And we all know that feelings come and go. Feelings are never stable. You may feel this way one day, may feel this way the next day. They are never stable. So I kind of wrote this quote down and I want to read it to you guys. And it is, feelings are blankets for humans that come on and go off. Feelings are blankets. We put them on, and when we get too hot, we take them off. They come and they go. They come and they go. When you love someone, is it without expectations? Because according to Webster, it's a feeling. Meaning when someone is making you happy, when someone is doing something that you adore, when someone is striking your little ego, rubbing your head, someone's telling you how beautiful you are, someone is washing your car, someone's washing your dishes, running your business, someone are doing things that you feel that you like. But what happens when your expectations are not met? What happens when you're not admired? What happens? Do you lose respect? Do you lose your love? What happens? Do you love with a forgiving heart? Do you love from a forgiving heart? Or do you harbor and say, I love you? Do you still look people in their eyes and say, I love you, but you harbor anger, hate, unforgiveness? Because one thing that I've learned this year is you can say you forgive someone all day, but if you bring it up constantly, you have not forgiven. The only thing you have done is suppressed your forgiveness. You're actually walking in a lie, saying that you have forgiven, but you have not. Because you're making them pay every time you bring it up. It's like revenge. So you can say, oh, I'm forgive you, I'm let God take care of it. But you bring it up every time y'all get into an argument or every time you have a disagreement, you're taking your own revenge. You're taking your own revenge because you're beating them up with whatever that has not been forgiven. So I want to read the scripture, Isaiah 43 and 18. Isaiah 43 and 18 reads, and it's a scripture on forgiveness. Hold on one second. So it says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. So God tells us, forget about it. Forget about those former things. Let's focus on your future. Got better things ahead. Leave that alone. When you forgive, forgive. It is over. It is done. Be comfortable with that forgiveness. Don't constantly beat them over the head with it. Don't constantly. Because if you're making that choice to forgive and forget, make that choice. Walk in love. Walk in that forgiveness. Walk in that peace. Because you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. You need it. You need that peace. You need that sanity. Because one thing about it is if you can't forgive a person, you can't respect them. You can't respect them. You won't. You won't respect them. Let it go so you can grow. Let it go so you can grow. And that could be if you're going to grow together or grow apart, but you still got to let it go. You still got to forgive. Let it go so you can grow. Let that pain go. Let that disappointment go. It's over. It's okay. It's okay. Let's dig into respect a little. Respect is a gift that is earned. I remember hearing my grandmother say that respect is earned and not given. And so I kind of grew up with that mentality, but when I became a teenager, I didn't agree because I feel like everybody deserves respect from the beginning. I don't feel like it necessarily has to be earned. I feel like I'm going to walk in the door with a level of respect for you. And I only feel like respect can be lost. But from the beginning, you have all my respect. Not earned. I can meet a stranger on the street and I got all respect for you. Got all respect for you. So I don't think it's earned. It's a given. But that's something my grandmother used to say. But it does require nurturing. Respect requires watering. It requires food, meaning cultivation, meaning edifying the spirit, meaning showing up, giving love, giving water to the spirit, respect. One thing about respect, it is required to maintain a healthy relationship. If you don't have respect, you cannot have a healthy relationship. It just will not work. It will not work because if I don't respect you, I am not going to have these healthy boundaries with you. I'm going to overlook you. I'm going to talk down to you. I'm going to speak out of order to you. I'm going to have a harsh tone with you. I'm going to overlook you, and those are not the elements that you need for a healthy relationship. Those are not. Those are not. So when you're in a relationship, and if there's a void, there needs to be a purge. And we all know what purge is, to get rid of. So you have to vomit up the toxicity, your toxicity from your childhood, your toxicity from your teen years, from the broken marriage, toxicity from your old age, from your drama workplace, from those cheating relationships you may have been a part of. You have to vomit up the toxicity so you can get it out of you to have a healthy relationship across the board with a man, a woman, a teacher, a boss, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother. You have to vomit up the toxicity that has been inside of you. Because one thing that we don't realize, we'll always blame and say, oh, I don't like toxic people. I don't like toxic people. But sometimes the toxic person is you. Sometimes the toxic person is you. And you attract toxic people because y'all like what y'all give, y'all feed each other. And I am a living witness to that. I realized I was in a toxic relationship because we fed each other. We'll go 10 rounds together. And I was ready and he was ready too. We fed each other. Toxic people are only people who are hurting and unsure how to express their pain. And so they spew toxicity out. Hurting people, unsure on how to express their pain. They are not bad people. They just require more love and attention. And if you are unable to give that attention or give that love, you have to let them go. Don't disrespect them. Don't dismiss them. Don't betray them. Let them go. Just let them go. No abuse, no using. Just stop. You just have to stop dealing with them. Before judging them, like I said, review yourself. What is your level of toxicity? And see how much that you bring to the table. Are you bringing high levels of toxicity to the table? And if you're not bringing any, that goes back to how much are you willing to tolerate? Because if you're dealing with somebody who has a high level of toxicity, how much are you going to be willing to tolerate without abusing them, without using them? Because just because you have someone and they may be using toxicity to abuse you, and they may be talking down to you, they may be disrespecting you and not loving you properly. And if you're tolerating it, and if you're arguing back with them, and if you are, going 10 rounds, like I said earlier with them, guess what? Y'all are toxic for each other. Y'all are bad for each other. And you're not growing. That is not a garden that's going to be cultivated and grow great fruit. And so when you are not going to grow great fruit, you're going to have spoiled, rotten fruit. That's generational. Because if you have children, if you have a company, if you have friendship, and you're producing rotten fruit from the toxicity that you guys give to each other, there's no growth, there's no thriving. And so the generational curse begins to grow and grow and grow. For instance, if you have children with someone and y'all have a toxic relationship, you're showing toxicity to the children you share. And then what happens is your child grows up and they begin to show toxicity to their spouse or significant other. And then their children see it and they get that from their parents. And then their children see it, and then their children see it. And then now we're all sitting back trying to figure out, how do you break the cycle? Because it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. Toleration. Some people are your drug, and your symptoms from your disease. Some people are your drug. They are the medicine that you use for your symptoms from your disease. And what is your disease? It could be unworthiness, rejection. It could be feeling unloved, unwanted. And you could use that toleration of other people as a drug to ease those symptoms. But we all know what happens when the drugs wear off. You still are going to be left with those feelings. You're still going to be left with the anger, the hurt, the bitterness, the unloving feelings, the unworthiness. When you feel unworthy, you'll tolerate anything. If you feel unworthy, anything will do. Because you don't feel like you're worth nothing anyway. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be lonely. So I'm just going to tolerate it, him or her, or it, a little bit longer, because I don't want to be sitting on the couch by myself. I don't want to go out to eat by myself. I don't want to go to the movies by myself. So I'm tolerate a little bit more. Don't do it. You got to heal. You got to heal. You got to heal. Are you tolerating your fears? Is the question. Are you tolerating your fears? Are you feeding yourself plastic food and trash to escape the freedom of love and from experiencing respect? Are you feeding yourself plastic trash to escape the feelings of love and experiencing respect? Meaning, are you putting waste in your body because you don't want to experience what true love is, and you don't want to experience respect, or you don't want to give it either? Stop tolerating. Stop tolerating. Stop disrespecting. Experience what true love is. You know how hate takes lots of energy? Hate takes energy. Hate takes energy. So it's better to love. It's better to respect each other. Better to not tolerate each other, but respect each other and love each other. Toxic people have issues with speaking and expressing their feelings. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means they just need help. They need help. Real love heals, and true love builds. So when you have someone that's giving you real, true, authentic love, that agape love, meaning it's not a feeling. I'm going to love you regardless. You can spit in my face and I'm going to love you regardless. That can heal and build character. Show people how to treat you. Show people how to love on you. Show people how to respect you. And don't do it by abusing them, and don't do it by mistreating them. Show them in a loving way. Hey, I love you. I'm not going to throw you at my house. I'm just going to let you know that you're not welcome here. However, I love you. Whenever you're able to respect me, whenever we are on a level playing field, you are more than welcome to return. It's not cursing nobody out. It's not hitting or striking anyone. It's not backbiting and telling everybody in your whole entire family things about them. That's not love. That's not respect. And that's what we need to get back to: real, authentic love, respect, and not tolerating. Not tolerating. If that's for ladies and men. But of course, I'm talking to my ladies. It's time for us to stop tolerating foolishness. And it's time for us to seek authentic, true love and only expect true respect. Expect true respect. If it ain't right, if it ain't true respect, what we doing with it? If you can't respect me, not gonna love me authentically, what are we doing? What are we doing? What type of relationship is this? I'm not tolerating you just to get a bill paid. I'm not tolerating you just to get a car. I'm not tolerating you just because I don't want to be alone at night, because I want someone to hug me or cuddle up to me or give me pleasures. No, true, authentic love. Love on each other, respect each other, study together, pray together, sit down and have conversations on what can we do to heal each other? What can we do to build each other? What can we do to make each other better? What can we do to make our family better? What can we do to grow, to thrive? What can we do to truly, truly edify each other? Because I don't want anybody that I can't edify. I don't want anybody I can't cultivate. I don't want anyone that I can't make better. If I can't make you better, I don't need you. If you don't have enough respect to make someone better in your life, you don't need them. Why would you need them if you can't make them better? And you have to expect them to make you better. Those are my expectations. I expect you to make me a better person. How do I expect you to make you a better person? Not because it's your responsibility, but I expect you to hold me accountable for being a better person. So hold me to high standards. Hold me to high standards. Know my worth. And because you know I'm worth so much, you hold me to high regards. You hold me high standards over me. So guess what I got to do? I got to reach some standards because I already know. I already know what you expect. I already know what I have to give you, and I want you to know what you got to give me to keep me. Ladies, men, don't get nobody who can't make you better. Don't get nobody who can't cultivate your spirit. Don't get nobody who can't talk to you. And I ain't talking about no god doggone closed-ended questions. Let's really talk. Let's really talk. But let's talk with respect and gentleness and kindness and love. When you're talking to someone, watch your tone, use gentleness. And I'm learning that. It's not that I'm harsh, I don't think, but I'm very direct. I have issues with beating around the bush. I'm very direct. So when I'm talking to people, like I'm asking you direct questions. And so sometimes people can find that offensive. And then I don't mean any harm about it. I'm not trying to offend them, but I'm realizing that. And so now I'm trying to kind of change up the way I talk to people, to make sure I'm not offending and make sure I'm using love, because I want love and I want to make sure I'm giving love. So that's something I want everybody to kind of be looking out for. Make sure you're giving love. Make sure you're receiving love. Make sure that you're giving respect. Make sure you're receiving respect. And there is no toleration. And stop passing judgment on toxic people. Because guess what? You were once there. You may still be there. And you may go back to being there. Because guess what? We are constantly growing. We're constantly experiencing new things. So we don't know what type of thing we're going to experience later that may put some more toxicity in us and that we're going to have to purge out of our system. And so every time we're purging, we're growing, we're getting better. We're not keeping it in us. we're vomiting it out because we want to grow, we want to get better. But let's always remember we're not staying stagnant. And so you just never know where you're going to go back to. You never know what you're going to have to endure. So let's stop passing judgment on toxicity because, like I said, we've been there, may be there now, may have to go back there. So let's remember it's coming from a hurt place, it's coming from pain. So sometimes when you're talking to people, you got to stop, take a step back, and kind of say, what can I say to kind of talk to them? Maybe I got to talk to them a different type of way. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm using respect. Let me make sure that I'm using love. You know, let me make sure that I'm in order myself before I come at them differently. And so that's work in progress. So I love you guys. Those are just a few nuggets I wanted to share tonight. I am exhausted. However, I did not want to go another night without talking to you guys because I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you guys have a great night. See you next time.